Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle McGraw from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number 23, and it is April 9th, 2020. If you are new here, this is a video about cross stitching and a little bit about my sewing. So if you're new here, thank you. Like and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you. Thank you for all the likes, the comments, everybody who subscribes. I enjoy interacting with everybody. If you follow me on Instagram, it is Made by Michelle McGraw. My email is madebymichellemcgraw@gmail.com. Very easy. Everything is Made by Michelle McGraw. So extremely easy to keep it all the same and all together. So any of those platforms, you can reach out and chit chat. I love interacting with other stitchers, and stitchy friends are the best. So feel free to do that. So I have chosen Flosstube to be an escape and a joyful place. So I hope everybody is keeping safe and keeping healthy, and we'll just leave it at that and get to the fun stitching stuff. So there you go. So during this time, I have found that I am just stitching what I enjoy. I sometimes that means I start things, like 4 new things. Sometimes that means I'm sticking with a project. I do have one finish, which I will share with you. Sometimes that means sitting in my craft room and kitting. I love to kit up stuff. I don't know why. It is relaxing to me. I don't know. It's very strange. So let me jump in and start with my first finish. And I am going to put a piece behind it because it is stitched on linen. So it kind of, so this is, hold on, let me get it over a little bit more. Boer Birds from Hello by Liz Matthews. I adore this pattern. So it is fantastic. It is fantastic. I saw this at Nashville release and I was like, I have to get this and I have to stitch this. So here's the pattern. It's very hard to see. It's in gray and light. Let me see if I take it out of the thing, if it's easier, out of the plastic, if it's easier to see. A little bit. There you go. I think that's doing good. Okay, so I love this. I do think it should be called weed flowers because I love a good weed flower. So here's the deal about flowers. So I scrapbook and make cards as well. I do not like to pick colors out for flowers, to color flowers in general. I don't like to color flowers because I don't know anything about flowers. So if I were going to say I need to color this stamped image, I wouldn't know what color to color it. One of my favorite stamp companies is Waffle Flower. By the way, they have a line of cross-stitch stamps, which are adorable. So if you have never checked them out, Waffle Flower. I think they are somehow done through, oh, the company has gone out of my mind. I'll think of it. Oh, Frosted Pumpkin. I think they have released them or did something or requested them somehow. I don't know. There's some kind of correlation because I've seen it pop up. But Waffle Flower does these ingenious stamps that have flowers and plants and what I call weeds in them. And they don't depict a real life flower. I love to stamp those type of flowers because I can color them any color I want and no one can say, well, you know, that flower really isn't blue in person. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like so I call them weed flowers. I love them. That's what these flowers remind me of. Weed flowers. I love them so much. They are so pretty. So that's my only thing. I think it should have been called weed flowers. Yes, the birds are cute. And if you don't know anything about bower birds, I actually had a friend of mine send me a link to a really cute video about them. And they like steal things and put them in front of their nest. And it's like a mating thing that they like the color. And so they put like, they steal like plastic bottle caps and put them in front of their nest to like attract the females. It's crazy. Okay, so I will be sharing this pattern after everything lets up and I can go to the post office. I will do this as a giveaway to pass the stash. If you haven't checked out Liz Matthews, check her out. She has some awesome, beautiful patterns. Love them. They are great patterns. Today she has a pattern and I ordered it. Charleston. I should have looked it up. It's something Charleston. And it is free shipping today. So that's a really great way to get one of her patterns free shipped. It's beautiful, beautiful. I love, and if you've ever been to Charleston, when I saw the pattern, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. So I bought it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna show, I also got Color and Cotton. I'm in 2 of their clubs. One of them is all colors. So that's their nice spring colors that they sent. And then primitive colors. And these were on the gray this time. So if you don't know, Color and Cotton is having a sale right now. And they are changing the hang tags to an updated hang tag. So all of their old hang tags are $2 right now on sale, all their floss. It's the same floss. They're not changing the floss. They're just changing the paper part. But it's a great way to pick up some floss on sale. So check out Color and Cotton. I will say I placed my order last night when I saw it on Instagram, and a couple colors of floss was going out of my cart as I was checking out. So just so you know, I think it's a popular sale, so jump on and grab it while you can. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to share is my cross stitch board. I have gotten tons of comments every time I do a change out of my board. Stuff's falling all over the place. Okay, I took these off to bring it over here, and now I'm gonna put them back on so I can show you. I get tons of comments and likes on these cross stitch boards, and they are so easy to do. These are a great way to use mini patterns, and they're super, super easy. So this is what is considered my medium board. I do not have the small board. My sister and my mom have the small board. I have 2 medium boards, which is the same size as this. And then I have a large board, and I'll show you that larger board. These frames are from Pottery Barn Kids at Christmas time. They're ornaments. So I literally put my cross stitch and change them out. I cut my cross stitch out to fit, and then I use stop fray around the edges. There are 2 different kinds of stop fray. I use the one in the white bottle, and it comes out white. It dries clear. So I put my pieces that I've cut out to fit, I put them on wax paper. I squirt some stop fray on the paper, and I take a Q-tip and I dab around all of the edges of the cut piece. I let that dry on the wax paper, and it won't stick. Sammy, stop. I'm sorry, she's bumping the camera. I let it dry, and it dries clear, and then it won't fray. And I have done this for years, and I've never had one fray. I've never had one have any issues. My mom has done it longer than me. My sister has done it longer than me. It's a great way that it works. We change them out seasonally, just in the back. You open it up, change them out. And I get the frames at Pottery Barn at Christmas time. So I will show you, I bought some new frames this past year, and I'll show you the difference in color. So they do change the colors a little bit. For a long time, they have had this brighter red, and this year they changed it, and I'll show you the difference, and they're both beautiful. But let me show you how easy this board is to make. So the one that is at my front door is wood color, and my dad actually made that one for me. He did the beveled edge with his wood tools, And so that one's very precious to me because my dad died when I was 3 months pregnant with my oldest, and my oldest is 20. So I don't take that one off the wall very often because I don't want it to break. And my husband made me this board similar to that board. So the board came from Hobby Lobby. You can now buy them with these beveled edges already. They're in the unfinished wood part. You literally drill the holes in. We used a dowel and we angle them up slightly so they don't fall off. Because I use these on a doorway, I use it on a small wall, and that's normally beside a doorway. And sometimes when you slam the door, at least in my house, probably because my kids are brutes, 3 boys, they slam doors and make a lot of noise, and who knows, they do weird stuff, who knows. This prevents them from falling off. So just that little bit of angle to it is all you need. You take wood glue, glue them in. I sanded the board lightly, not even a heavy sand. We used an old piece of sandpaper that we had. We didn't even buy new sandpaper. It didn't matter. And then we spray painted it black. You could do it as, you could do a wood stain on it if you prefer. You could do it as white. You could do it as any color. You could do chalk paint. That would be beautiful. We spray painted it. It was easy. It's what we had. And I love the fact that it's black. It blends in. Most of my frames on my walls are black. So I love the fact that it kind of goes with the frames. You can see one of my cross stitch pieces. There's a frame. They go further up the wall. I have a hard time showing it on the wall in a video. And I also, if you're new here, I have several pieces on the wall that are all done from Country Magic Stitch. They're all this size, they're all this style, where they are Phantom vintage travel pieces done in from Fandom. So this is Harry Potter, obviously. They're all framed up there. I use 3 different frames in case any of my frames go out. I still have 2 others to work with, and I mix and match them. But right now, they're uneven on the wall because I have a gap over here that I need to fill in with one, which is the next one that I'm working on. It will look better as I fill them in. I'm working on it. So anyhow, black frame. I use a lot of black frames. So that's why I went with black. So this is my medium board, very easy to make. If you had any questions, if you have any more questions, you feel free to give me a holler. I'll be sure to answer them. Okay, so this frame, this is my big board. And the reason why these are done this way, these are the same, oops. This is hard to do in the middle of the room. So this is my bigger board. And if you can see, it still has 4 frames. So it's really tall. Why this is done this way, I can still put my smaller frames here, but I can also put a big frame here. I can put a 5x7 frame up here, which gives me the ability to do bigger patterns if I want to for this board, or I can do the smaller patterns as well. So this gave me another option, and literally we just mapped it out on how much distance we needed, and then what size board we could get. And we finished it the same way as we did the other one. So let me show you the difference. For years, Pottery Barn sold this bright red frame at Christmas time. This was last year's frame. It's a little more deeper. I actually think it's beautiful too, so I didn't mind either one. They also had a silver one, which I have somewhere, but I can only find 3 of them, and I know I ordered 4. So I'll use those eventually when I can find the 4th one. I also want to make a board with just 3 pegs on it, because sometimes I find a pattern and they only have 3 instead of 4. So those might, if I can't find it, those might be my 3 peg frames. I don't know, but be creative. You could do the board any way you wanted to switch it out. We use 4, you could do 3, you could do 2 if you wanted to. It's whatever. It's a great way to use those mini patterns. I need to go to my sister's house and get her mini container. She has so many ones stitched, and she has beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cross stitch. She's a very quick stitch, and she has some really pretty ones. So I will have to go steal them and show them in a Flosstube. I don't know that I can convince her to be in a Flosstube with me. She doesn't like to do that stuff. But she would give me her cross stitch to show. So maybe I'll show that in a Flosstube coming up. That would be fun. Okay, I'm gonna continue on and I will show you some bags that I made. So once again, I used Vanna Pfeiffer's tutorial of her envelope project bag. I did modify it to meet the size that I wanted. I wanted a bigger bag so that I can put a full-size project magnetic board in my bag. I get my magnetic boards from Amazon. Knitter's Pride, they have two sizes. They have a small and a large, and I have both sizes. So I wanted to make sure I had a bag that I could fit that whole large board, because that's where I have problems, is getting that large board in a bag. And sometimes I don't have enough of the small ones. I have to use my larger ones. I actually prefer the smaller ones, but I don't have enough of those, so I have to use my large ones. So I modified the size slightly just to fit the bigger boards. And bigger Q-snaps if you wanted to, or bigger projects fit in these. So, but you don't have to. You can do them Vanna's dimensions, and they're beautiful. They are a Velcro bag, which makes me very happy because it's not a zipper, and I'm not a good sewer. I'm a very, very beginner sewer, so I can do Velcro. Super easy. So my first bag is Ariel, and this is fabric that I got at Fat Quarter Shop, and then I just paired it with a gingham that matched. So that's one. I did chickens, polka dot chickens with polka dot insides. So one thing, not all my bags are all the same size. I literally will make them, I basically start out with a piece that's anywhere from 18 to 19 inches wide, and then a whole piece that's 32 to 33 inches. It can be as little as 31 or 30 inches. I use what I have in and make it work. So my project bags are different sizes, and that's okay, because they fit. Because I have enough variety now of the big ones. If I need a big one, I get a big one, if that makes sense. So you don't have to be rigid in the size. You can definitely use what you need. So this is my next one, which is the retros. I love this print of all these ladies. So cute. This print was found in a store in Raleigh, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. I will try to find out the name of it. And we went into the store, me and my girlfriend, and I got some beautiful fabrics. So I'm finally able to use those. This is the inside fabric that I chose. This last one is Alice in Wonderland print. It has a name. I'm unaware of the name, but it has a name. I'm going to show you the back because it's a solid piece. Okay, so you've got the table, the chairs, Alice, the rabbit. I love the mushrooms. His hat is somewhere. Trying to find his hat. Where's his hat? Trying to find it. Have I missed it? His hat is somewhere on here. Let me see. I can finally find it when I'm not looking at it backwards. Here's his hat. Look at his little Mad Hatter hat. So cute. So with this print, I did a blue interior fabric for Alice. So this was super fun. I love this one. This was from fabric.com, and I have had no problem ordering fabric online from Fat Quarter Shop or fabric.com. Both of them I've used. I do read the description because I don't want a stretchy cotton. I don't know how a stretchy cotton would work for a fabric bag, but I'm a beginner sewer, so maybe it would be fine. I don't know how to sew on stretchy fabric, so I don't want stretchy fabric. So I don't get the stretchy fabric. I get cotton. And as long as I've read the description, I've had no issues at all. So both of those are great resources. Okay, I'm just going to keep going with this side and clear out. I bought some fabric, and I want to say it was Mountain something or another fabric. I will find it, and if you're curious on what it is, I'll let you know. Because I didn't, it just says Egyptian sand, which is the color. So I got a piece of 32 count, and I got a piece of 40 count. Now, I have never used 40 count. I will say, in person, the 40 count is so pretty, is so delicate looking, even more so than the 32, and they're both beautiful. I've never stitched on it. I'm gonna attempt it, maybe not right away, eventually, but I did get one piece of 40 count, so go me, 40 count linen. Who knew, right? Okay, so I have been kitting up some things. Yesterday I was kitting a project, and I did want to talk about it today because I kitted it. I had almost all of the colors, so I subbed some colors, and I wanted to start it. So here it is. I showed it last night on my Instagram. It is Token of Love, a mini Quaker by With Thy Needle and Thread. And it is beautiful. These colors are fantastic. I love that it's a Quaker and it's got a house, and sign me up. So I loved it. So here is my start. I'm gonna try, hold on, let me put something behind it so it's not so glaring through the light. So I have one motif totally done and my initials. I started the other motif up here. In the pattern, my husband's initials will be on this side, and then our wedding date will be here. So I'll change those dates, and it says A Token of Love. I just think it's a sweet sampler. I think it's so pretty. So as you can see, this is done in a box. So I was kitting this up, and I had pretty much all the colors except two. It doesn't take tons of colors, just so you know. I think there are 6 colors. I had 4 of them. So I started looking at it, and I thought, well, what is the substitution for Classic Colorworks St. Bernard? And I went online and I looked. I actually found a site that gave me 3 different options, and I picked 501 instead of St. Bernard. And 501 is the darker flower color. This is a variegated floss. This is a solid DMC floss. I think it looks fine. I also am subbing, I did not have another color, and I'm trying to think which one it is, and I'm using Straw Hat. So that is this color. So, and my initial color. It's a variegated floss too. There's a good picture of it. So the substitution that they gave me was 781 DMC. When I put it with the other colors, it looked bizarre. It looked like all of a sudden there was this ambery brown in the midst of these colors, and I didn't think it looked right. So I literally went to my Fancy Floss, and I found a color that I thought was pretty. Straw Hat. I had 2 skeins of it. I was like, good to go. This is what we're using. So in that, I had 1 skein of everything except Straw Hat. And I saw where they were using 1 strand. And I was like, oh, okay, 1 strand, great. And then I look, and the directions say 1 strand over 28 count. And I thought, that's not gonna be enough coverage for me. I'm gonna have to do 2 strands, but then if I do 2 strands, I'm probably gonna need to have more skeins of floss. And I don't know that I can get this floss right now. I mean, I might can, but I might not be able to. So that wasn't a great solution. And then I read it more than I actually read the directions, and they stitched it 1 over 1 on 28 count. That is incredibly small. I did not like it. It was teeny tiny, and my stitches didn't even look good. So I decided, no. that is so that it fits in this box. I'm not putting it in this box. So I thought, well, I can use anything I want to. So I went in my stash to find either a 32 count, which I think in my experience, I've used one strand on it and it's fine. Or if I had 18 count or 20 count, that I could use one strand. So went to my stash, found stuff that would work, found a color that I worked, and I ended up using 18 count fog. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, fog does not show up on camera. This looks like it is a solid cream piece. It is not. There is variegation to their fog. It's Picture This Plus fog. There is variegation. It does not ever show up for me on camera. So you might be able to see a little bit in there. It's really hard to show. It's definitely prettier in person. So that is why I kind of wanted to caution you. If you want it to fit in this box, you have to use 1/1 on 28 count. I did not want it to. I wanted to put it on my wall, so I didn't have to do that. And I could have done some really pretty fabric that I had in 28 count. I could have just used the fabric that I had, but I didn't know if I would have enough floss to do it. And I wanted to be able to start this now and not have to worry about running out of floss. So that's why I did this. I'm so sorry. My phone is ringing for the house. We don't answer the phone, so I'm not really sure who's calling. So no one answers that phone. All right. I will get into some whips. We're going to just ignore the phone. We're just going to ignore it. Okay. So this is one of the bags that I previously showed. I love it. This is my pattern holder. This is the large one. And that's why I like the bigger bags, because I can fit this whole big pattern holder in here. Let me try to get the front page. This is Game of Thrones Epic Story Sampler from Wild Violet Cross Stitch. And I will show it to you first. And I love this. I love the fact that it is a sampler that is pretty. It has different colorways I could use. But if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, you could just come to my house and this would be a pretty piece on my wall. If you're Game of Thrones fans, and like me, you're geeking out over this. So I did not stay with the colorway that she has. I just chose some fancy floss that I had that I am using Weeks Putty and Weeks Light Khaki. So those are the two that I'm using. It only calls for 2 colors. You can stitch it on any color you want. You could make your own. Basically, she has a colorway for Targaryen if you are House Targaryen, for Stark Blue or Lancaster Gold. Mine looks like it's Lancaster Gold, but it's not actually. It's actually just to match my house. And I have cream and tan in my house, so that's why I chose that. So here is my progress on this. Let me put something behind it so it doesn't go through the light. And am I right side up? Yes. No, I'm not right side up. I'm this way. Okay, so there's a little tiger or a little lion up there, and I have the beginning of a horse. So it's coming along. It's really, really pretty, and I really love this one. So I'm enjoying that a lot. That was a new start that I'm doing. And this is, let's see. Okay, this is the Quaker from my friend Lydia in Lovely Stitches. If you haven't checked her out, she sent me this pattern and I love it. It's so pretty. And I restarted this, which I showed you guys last time. I restarted it on different fabric and different thread, and I'm much happier, and I did some more work on it. So I did some more fill-in, did some more on there. This is a fun stitch. I really am enjoying this now that I got it right in my mind of what I wanted it, and I'm really enjoying this. I want to get back to it. I'm using, let's see here. I am using Gentle Arts Bubblegum. So pretty. Love that. Okay. Let's see here. This is a new start as well. This is something that I had kitted up, and I did end up changing the fabric that I used. I had a hard time picking fabric for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to use an even weaver linen one, only because I think for this one, it's just what I wanted. I wanted that look. So it's Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. You've seen it, you love it. Tons of people have stitched it. So I first picked out a color that was like a reddish brown. It was beautiful. And I showed it to my husband. He's like, that's really dark. And I was like, yes, it is. It's really a dark fabric. My phone never rings. It's rang 4 times this morning alone. I don't know. I ended up going with something unconventional. So this fabric has a purpley hue to it, like a purpley grayish hue. I love it. It's beautiful. There is my start. So I am loving this. Loving this. Okay. I have a couple of ones that I'm going to share with you. Maybe I'll divide this into 2 videos. So let me stop here because apparently somebody needs me on the phone, and I will do another video and share just my stash fabric or stash patterns. So I will be back.